Hey folks, welcome to this lazy afternoon out here in central Mississippi. Now this is lazy for some of us. You see this man back there in the background on this lawnmower? He's gracious enough to do our yard and do all of that. It's Mark Bowler. He has a motorcycle shop, Oasis Cycles, just across the street. And he told me the other day, he's tired of smelling my cooking. He's got to come over and eat. So we're going to put together a thing where they're going to come over and they're going to see us cook, visit with us, and eat what we cook. We're going to put that together soon, and we may put it on video for you folks, but we're so glad we have good neighbors. All right, for what are we going to do for you today? We're going to do a chicken taco flavored soup, in my opinion. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pot. We're going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of that. We're going to get that off on our fire. And to that, we have my favorite cut of chicken. Boneless, skinless chicken thighs. To me, chicken thighs have the best flavor of any piece of chicken. Now, that's Jeff's opinion, I know, but trust me, chicken thighs, I really like them. We took 8 boneless, skinless chicken thighs and we cut them up into pieces about that big. For me, that's bite size. For some of you, that might be real big. We're going to take those, we're going to put those off in our oil. We want to put just a little bit of brown on these. Here, folks, we want just a little bit of color on this chicken before we add all the other ingredients to this soup. All right, we got this chicken breast starting to brown off a little bit. We want to put a couple good pinches of black pepper in there. This is a dish that you're going to want to season as you go, and you're going to want to taste as you go. There's a few things we're going to add to this that have different flavors, and kind of got to see how the salt content's going to come out, especially the salt. But you want to watch it pretty close. Pretty good pinches of salt and pepper. Now, as this chicken starts to brown up, we're going to be adding some flour to it. And that flour is kind of going to make like a roux, for lack of a better way. It's going to coat the chicken, and that's going to help thicken up our soup, kind of make it a stew. We're going to be adding some taco seasoning. Now, I'm going to say get the taco seasoning of your choice. This happens to be a low sodium. Salt can get away from you in this dish if we're not careful. So, but get the taco seasoning that flavors it best to your taste. We're going to add a package. This is actually 1 pound of frozen mixed vegetables. You can get the type of mix according to your taste. Again, this has a little bit of everything in it. It's truly mixed vegetables. It's one of my favorites. We want to add 1 can of black beans, and we want those beans to be rinsed. Like I've told y'all before, if you don't rinse your black beans before you put them in a dish like this, your dish will get gray. Making sure that stuff doesn't stick. We have about 1/2 of a large onion. This is it's a whole small, roughly chopped. To that, we're going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Now, these diced tomatoes are called Mexican flavored. Folks, most of the time these tomatoes, again, this is Jeff's opinion, most of the time these tomatoes, when they say they have extra flavor, really what I get out of that is either salt, garlic, or just hot. So these have a little bit of heat to them and garlic, but they're better on the salt. Folks, we're getting all this stirred up in here together, and if you can stay up there that close with the heat, to that we've got some chicken stock. Now, the reason we're putting the chicken stock in last is we don't want to put too much. We want to cover this about an inch or so, about like that right there. To that, we're going to add the rest of our seasoning. We want to put just a little bit more pepper, probably just about 1 pinch at this point until we give it a taste here in a little bit. Tasting right now is not going to have everything in there, so if we taste now and we add the rest of other spices, you could get off. We got a teaspoon of garlic and a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. We've got a teaspoon of chili powder and a teaspoon of cumin. And make that teaspoon of cumin a hefty teaspoon of cumin. Give this a little stir. Now, to me, I'm a little low on my liquid. So we've got some water in here. This is about 4 cups of water. Going to slowly start pouring that off in here. And that 4 cups is about what we needed to get up to comfort. I made this a little chicken heavy compared to the other ingredients. This package had 8 boneless, skinless chicken breasts in it, and I used them all. Adding that much cold liquid that we do, or that we did at one time, it takes it a little bit to come back up to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste. I'm mainly concerned on the salt content of this because the taco seasoning, even though it's low sodium, it's going to have some salt. The chicken stock, a lot of that stuff has salt in it. Actually, I was wrong. It needs a pinch or 2 of more salt. Let's add a pinch or 2 of salt. We'll get this boiling up really good. We're going to come back here in a minute, but before we let y'all go, I like my soup to be a little shiny. Just a cosmetic thing. The easiest way I found to do that is to add butter. I just put a half a stick of butter in there. We're going to let this get hot. We're going to come back and let you see what it looks like. Our onions are getting a little translucent. Now, a couple of things that just tricks for me, I guess what you could say. When you have something like this, a lot of people sear their meat off in a different skillet and add it to their soup so they don't get the fat or the drippings into the soup. I do it in the same pot because I think that fat and that drippings is a lot of your flavor. Now, obviously, if you have excess fat, you'll want to do something with that. But some of that stuff is what makes it good. You also, when we add flour and dry ingredients in there like we did, to kind of coat the meat to add as a thickener, you want to make sure that you rub your pot. You drag your spatula around the sides. You rub the bottom really good. Make sure you don't have anything stuck to the bottom because all of them little bitty bits and pieces and little brown things here and there within the bottom and the sides of your pot or your skillet, man, that's flavor. That is pure flavor right there. All right, we're getting really, really close. We're going to get ready to pull this off. See if we can't plate you up some or bowl you up some. See if we can get a little bit in this pretty blue bowl that we got out here. Folks, I can tell you this is really, really hot. And if y'all ain't figured it out, folks, y'all are going to find out that I say that an awful lot. I say, hey, folks, how y'all doing, folks? How about it, folks? That's just something that I do. It's a habit, just like beating on the side of these pots and pans. It's just something that I do. One thing, we were talking about scraping your pot and making sure you have all the love and the goodness in your dishes when you put them together. The other thing that it's kind of going to be mixed opinion. And that's typically 90% of my things are a mixed opinion. But everybody wants uniform chop. Everything wants to be the same size. So this is this big and this is this big. So it all gets done at the same time. Well, it all has the same texture. So sometimes a ununiform chop, or chopping your onion a little bigger than the other vegetable, or one versus the other, will create some textures in what you're doing, especially a soup or a stew. You just don't want it to be mush. You want a little bit of something in there to kind of help with that. Wow. All right, now we're going to do the little pretty things. We're going to put us a couple of tortillas, or tostado chips, or tortilla chips, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put us a good little dollop of sour cream in there. And we didn't have any fresh green onion, which would really look good on this. But we got a little dried chives. See if we can't make that look a little fancy for an outside dinner. Okay, let's see what this tastes like. You can see how we've got our piece of chicken, we got the black beans, we got our vegetables. Now I used mixed vegetables with everything, lima beans, green beans, and all in there. You can change this up however you want. Just be sure if you use black beans, you wash those black beans or you rinse them. I know you're still there, folks, but man, that was good. I got to get me a little bit more. There's only one thing wrong with this. The day ain't cold enough. It's still in the upper 90s to the upper 80s to mid 90s. This was a real cold day. Man, this would be so good. Everybody, we sure thank you for watching us, subscribing, following us on Facebook, and just giving us the care and the concern and the love that y'all extend to us. We're out here doing these things. We're trying to do the best we can, and we're nowhere near perfect. But folks, as we end this video, we say, God bless and enjoy your food.